There are two types of homes in the Chicago suburbs that gets talked about more than anything else. Townhomes and single-family homes. And most people think they're interchangeable. But once you actually live in each one, they're two completely different worlds. So after helping people relocate for the last 5 years, I can tell you this. You pick the wrong one and you're either mowing a yard you can't stand, or you end up paying HOA fees for a yard you can't even use, attached to a neighbor you probably hate. So in this video, I'm going to break down the real pros and cons of townhomes versus single-family homes in the Chicago suburbs. The actual numbers on the HOA fees, who handles what when it comes to roofs, lawn, the snow, plus exactly who tends to be happier in each one. The first thing you need to understand before anything else is the monthly money difference, because it's actually a bigger deal than most people actually think it is. Most buyers come in thinking the difference is just the list price and what they can actually buy it for, but it's really not. It's your total monthly cost that actually matters. Let me paint the picture for you. You've got two buyers with the same household income and the same budget. Now, buyer A buys a townhome for $350,000. Buyer B buys a single-family home in the same school district for $400 grand. On day one, it's a $50,000 gap. Sounds huge, doesn't it? But here's what most people are actually missing. Buyer A, the townhome owner, is now writing a check for the HOA fees every month. In the Chicago suburbs, townhome HOAs typically run between $200 and $400 a month or more. So you're over a year, you're roughly between $2,400 to $4,800 going out the door on top of your mortgage. Now buyer B, the single family owner, has zero HOA or very low in most suburb communities, but now they're paying for their own snow removal, their own lawn service, their own roof replacement funding. A decent landscaper here runs $150 to $200 a month in this season. A snowblower, $500, unless you want to just shovel. A new roof in 15 years, probably gonna be 20 grand easily. So the cheaper townhome and the more expensive home, once you start doing the math, they're kind of a lot closer than you think. So before you set your sights on either one, do this. Pull up the listing for yourself, look at three things. 1, what are the HOA dues? 2, what do they actually cover? And 3, what are the taxes? Because between the HOA and the tax burden, the math might be closer than you actually think. Now here's something nobody ever thinks to look at. What is the special assessment history? And what's pending right now? Because a special assessment is when the HOA hits every owner with a surprise bill, kind of. You could be $3 grand, could be 20 grand. It's used to cover something like a new roof on the building, parking lot resurfacing, or other maintenance for the community. Now, I have seen some communities that were hit with massive assessments. And either some people stay and they pay it, or they decide to sell. And that's the first thing buyers start to ask. How much is it? How much is that assessment going to cost me? Then on the single family side, get a quote for landscaping. It's usually $45 or so a week, at least it is for me. Then answer, who's doing the snow removal and with what? A trusty shovel? Don't do that. Or a nice snowblower. You see, I shoveled for years. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. And really the most important questions are these. How old's the roof, the furnace, the AC, the windows, and of course the water heater? These are usually the biggest ticket items that get asked about the most, and you really should. The next big thing, bigger than money for a lot of buyers, is who actually doing the work. But before we hop into that, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, it's what I do every single day. So give me a call here or sign up for my weekly newsletter right here. Now, owning a home isn't just writing checks. It's Saturday mornings. It's, how is the grass this tall already? It's, honey, the driveway has 6 inches of snow on it and I have to be at work in an hour. You better go get that snowblower. I had a client last winter who bought a beautiful single family home, right? Big lot, mature trees, you know, the whole vibe. 2 weeks after closing, we got hit with one of those awesome snowstorms people love here. I'm kidding. He called me later that afternoon and said the snowblower, well, it wouldn't start. The driveway was buried, kids needed to get to school, wife needed to get to work. His morning was fun to say the least. In the same time frame, I had another client in a townhome. She woke up, looked out the window, and the HOA's plow service had already cleared her driveway and her sidewalk before she even finished her morning coffee. That's the trade-off, all in one story. With a townhome, the exterior is somebody else's problem. The roof is covered, the siding's covered, the lawn is cut every week, the snow is plowed by somebody else. You're paying for it through your HOA. And you don't really have to lift a finger most of the time. With a single family home, you own everything from the foundation to the chimney cap. That's freedom, but it's also a part-time job. And trust me, some days I wish I hired help for all of these tasks. So here's the real question to ask before you buy anything. Picture your perfect Saturday. Are you mowing the lawn with a cold drink in your hand, blasting some music and loving every minute of it? well, single family is probably for you. Or does your perfect Saturday have nothing to do with landscaping at all? Just the coffee, some sun shining on your patio? Well, then a townhome, it's probably your choice every single time. But this brings us to things people fight about the hardest. For some buyers, this is either the deal breaker. For others, it's actually the deal maker. It's crazy. Some see the exact same feature with opposite reactions. Think about how you actually use a yard. Do you have a family with 2 kids and a German Shepherd? The backyard is a daily essential. You see, I got 2 kids. We're still working on the German Shepherd though. In a home, you can place a nice swing set, a sprinkler in the summer, build a snowman in the winter, the dog gets to tear around the yard. On the other hand, a townhome with a tiny patio might feel like a little cage in a few months for you like that. But flip the script. You're a young professional couple, no kids yet, you travel a lot for work, or you spend most of your downtime relaxing or going out to hang out with your friends. That same backyard becomes mosquitoes, mowing, weeding, an event you probably got to stay in every 2 years. Suddenly, that small townhome patio with a grill and 2 little chairs is just enough for you. Most Chicago suburb townhomes give you a small patio or a deck, maybe 100 to 200 square feet of private outdoor space, just so you can wind down. A single family home in places like Aurora, Oswego, Geneva, you're typically looking at a 1/4 acre or more. That's space for a garden, a fire pit, a swing set, and still room to throw a football if you needed to. Before you make your decision just yet, sit down for 10 minutes and write out what you actually do outside in a year. Not what you imagine you're going to be doing. What did you actually do last year? Did you grill 12 times? Played fetch with your little dog or huge dog, whatever you got? Hosted a graduation party for like 40 people? That list tells you exactly how much yard you really need. You see, I bought a house with a good sized yard. Trees, bushes, flowers, you name it. I love to let the kids run around. However, I don't enjoy the part-time job that it's kind of becoming just to keep it in order. Okay, you got everything written down. Now you need to realize the rule book you're signing up for between these 2 options. Because here's the part nobody really tells you about. When you buy a townhome, you're not just buying a home, you're joining an association. And that association, it has rules. Lots of them. Picture this. You buy a townhome, you love it, you're settled in, spring rolls around, you decide you want to paint the front door red. Super cute, right? It has your personality. Nope. HOA bylaws say all doors must be one of the 3 approved colors, and red isn't on the list. Same goes for the type of grill you can put on your patio, when you can put up holiday lights, how long they can stay up for, what kind of fence, if any, you can install. You see, I just had a client who fell in love with the townhome. It was perfect. And she looked outside. The townhome's patio were literally a foot from each other. A foot. No bushes, no trees, no fence between them. She looked at me and said, I really would have to like this neighbor, wouldn't I? Now compare that to a single family home outside of an HOA neighborhood. Want to paint the house purple? Go ahead. Want to put a 6-foot privacy fence? Feel free. Want a flagpole, a basketball hoop in the driveway, a vegetable garden in the front yard? You can do whatever you like. Some people read HOA rules and they feel relief. They feel like the neighbor across the street can't park their broken down boat on the lawn for 3 years. Other people read the rules and feel like they're back in middle school being told exactly what to wear. So before you buy a townhome, pull up the HOA covenants and figure out if the community actually fits you. Some people absolutely love rules, the consistency that brings to the community, and well, some people aren't happy about it. So make sure you know which one you actually are. This leads me to the most important question of all. Who actually thrives in each one of these? Now, before I answer that, if any of this has you thinking about the Chicago market, where to buy, what areas to watch, what to avoid, it's exactly what I'm here for. Reach out anytime, right here, or scan my QR code on screen to sign up for my weekly newsletter. I break down the market every week, cover local spots worth knowing about, and keep you up to date on everything happening across the suburbs and Chicago. So who thrives in each one? Because after walking so many buyers through this exact decision, I can tell you there are clear patterns. Certain people light up the second they walk into a townhome. Other people, they can't get out fast enough. See, townhomes in the Chicago suburbs tend to win over 4 types of buyers. First, it's first-time home buyers who want to stop running but aren't ready to take on a giant property or project. You see, townhomes here are usually $80,000 to $150,000 cheaper than a comparable single-family home in the same district. That's a huge price point entry change. Secondly, empty nesters and downsizers. The kids are out, the 4-bedroom colonial feels enormous now, the lawn is endless. A townhome gives them the same nice finishes, often new construction in places like Yorkville or Lockport, with none of the upkeep. Third, it's busy professionals who travel a lot or work crazy hours. They don't want to come home from a 14-hour day and find their driveway buried in snow, or the lawn has 2 feet of grass because they've been too busy to actually get it done. And fourth, anyone who's just done being a homeowner handyman. They've owned a house, they're over it. They want their weekends back. And I'll be real, some days I feel like I'm like that. Maybe I need to hire a gardener. I don't know. You see, single family homes win when you're growing a family, when you want a real yard, when you've got hobbies that need space. Things like a workshop, a garden, a boat, a project car. I miss having a project car. Well, they win when you actually want privacy, when you don't want shared walls, and when you want freedom to renovate whenever you want. So be honest with yourself here. Pick the lifestyle that actually fits the point of life you're in right now, not where you think you should be. The house shouldn't fit who you think you are. It should fit who you really are now and what daily life looks like for you. Now, even once you know which type of home is right for you, picking the wrong suburb can still ruin the whole thing. The taxes, the schools, the commute, they vary wildly across the Chicago metro. So watch my next video where I break down the truth about living in the Chicago suburbs, and I'll see you there.